Man offers Burkina Faso soldiers $8 million to overthrow government. The Burkina Defense and Security Forces have foiled an attempt to topple the military junta with an offer of $8.17 million.
Once again, Burkina Faso is under threat. Their president has been attacked, and saving him was nothing less than a miracle. This is the harsh reality that unfolded in Burkina Faso on November 8, 2024. The setting: Ouagadougou, the capital city of a nation already facing a multitude of threats, both internal and external. In a carefully orchestrated operation, Burkina Faso security forces managed to thwart a covert plot that had the potential to destabilize the entire country. The central figure in this story? A mysterious individual who arrived in the capital under the pretense of a legitimate business visit. But hidden beneath this was a far more sinister agenda. The man came not with promises of investment or cooperation, but with a suitcase filled with 5 billion CFA francs, an eye-watering sum that could change the fate of entire communities. But why was this money brought into Burkina Faso? And who was behind this audacious plan? The answers lie in a complex web of deceit, manipulation, and betrayal. But were they successful? Let's find out. In today's deep dive, we will peel back the layers of this shocking story to uncover the truth behind the plot. We will explore who was the mysterious figure carrying the massive sum of money, and what drove him to take such a significant risk. How Burkina Faso's loyal soldiers played a high-stakes game to expose the plot and protect their nation. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this story is about more than just a suitcase of cash. It's a testament to the strength, unity, and resilience of the people of Burkina Faso. The story begins with the arrival of a man shrouded in secrecy. He stepped off a plane in Ouagadougou, dressed impeccably in a business suit, projecting the air of a foreign investor ready to inject capital into the country's infrastructure projects. But this was merely a facade, a well-crafted disguise that masked his true intentions. The man carried with him a suitcase containing 5 billion CFA francs. This sum wasn't meant for development projects, nor was it intended to support charitable causes. Instead, this substantial amount of money was allegedly earmarked for something far more nefarious: bribing soldiers to turn against their own government and sowing chaos within Burkina Faso. So, who was this man? And why did he believe that a suitcase filled with cash would be enough to topple a nation? According to confidential sources, this individual had ties to powerful foreign entities with vested interests in destabilizing the region. For these shadowy backers, Burkina Faso represents a critical geostrategic point in West Africa, rich in resources like gold and minerals, and positioned in a region rife with conflict and political instability. The plan was deceptively simple on the surface: approach disillusioned soldiers, offer them enough money to secure their loyalty, and ignite a chain reaction that would destabilize the country. The timing of this plot was no accident. Burkina Faso, after years of battling extremist groups and political unrest, had recently made strides toward stability. The country's efforts to strengthen its borders and foster economic growth were beginning to bear fruit. But with progress comes new challenges, and for some, stability in Burkina Faso is seen as a threat to their interests. The suspect was confident that his plan would work. After all, it's a tale as old as time. Use money to buy loyalty, especially in a region where soldiers are often underpaid and overworked. The man believed he had found the perfect opportunity to exploit the country's vulnerabilities. He was convinced that a few million francs could turn soldiers into mercenaries for hire. But this time, he was wrong. From the moment he made contact with his supposed allies within the military, things began to unravel. What the suspect didn't realize was that these soldiers were not as easily swayed as he had hoped. The men he approached were not just ordinary recruits. They were veterans, men who had dedicated their lives to defending Burkina Faso against both internal and external threats. They had fought insurgents, faced down extremist groups, and survived some of the harshest conditions imaginable. Their loyalty to their nation was unwavering. As soon as the suspect made his first overture, offering large sums of money in exchange for loyalty, the soldiers knew something was off. But rather than rejecting the offer outright and risking exposure, they decided to play along. They knew they were dealing with someone who had significant backing and resources. The question was, who was pulling the strings behind the scenes? Instead of turning the man away, the soldiers played a dangerous game of deception. They reported everything to their superiors, who, in turn, alerted the national security forces. Together, they devised a plan to expose the full extent of the conspiracy. For weeks, these soldiers maintained the pretense of being interested in the suspect's offer. They met with him multiple times, gathering critical information about his backers, his network, and the scope of his plans. Behind the scenes, the tension was palpable. These soldiers were taking a huge risk. If the suspect discovered their true intentions, it could lead to retaliation, not just against them, but against their families. But their loyalty to Burkina Faso was stronger than their fear of retribution. As the weeks went by, the soldiers gathered enough evidence to expose the entire operation. They knew that they had to act fast before the suspect realized he was being played. The stage was set for a dramatic takedown that would reveal the true nature of this plot. From the very beginning, Burkina Faso's security forces were aware that they were not just dealing with a lone individual. They were facing a sophisticated plot orchestrated by unseen hands, likely backed by powerful foreign interests. As soon as the soldiers reported the suspect's approach to their superiors, the intelligence and security apparatus of Burkina Faso sprang into action. What followed was an operation that would rival any Hollywood thriller, a covert sting operation to expose a conspiracy that threatened to plunge the entire nation into chaos. The moment of truth came on November 8, 2024. The suspect had arranged a final meeting, believing that he had secured the loyalty of the soldiers he had approached. The location was a nondescript warehouse on the outskirts of Ouagadougou, a place he assumed would provide the privacy needed for such a high-stakes transaction. The plan was simple. He would hand over the 5 billion CFA francs, and in return, the soldiers would pledge their allegiance to him and his mysterious backers. This money was intended to fund a coup that would destabilize Burkina Faso and create a power vacuum that could be exploited by foreign interests. But what the suspect didn't know was that the soldiers he thought were on his side had already informed their superiors. The warehouse had been rigged with hidden cameras and recording devices. Elite security forces, armed and ready, were stationed nearby, waiting for the signal to move in. In a matter of minutes, the suspect was apprehended, and his suitcase of cash was confiscated. The entire operation had been recorded, providing irrefutable evidence of his intentions. The 5 billion CFA francs, which had been intended to fuel a conspiracy against the government, were now safely secured in the vaults of Burkina Faso's treasury. The arrest of the suspect was just the beginning. As soon as he was taken into custody, Burkina Faso's intelligence agencies began the process of interrogating him, hoping to uncover the full extent of the conspiracy. As the news of the sting operation spread, it sent a powerful message to anyone thinking of exploiting Burkina Faso's internal challenges. The country's leadership made it clear: Burkina Faso will not be brought to its knees by foreign plots or the lure of dirty money. In a televised address, the country's president praised the bravery and loyalty of the soldiers who risked their lives to protect their nation. This was not just an operation to stop one man, the president declared. This was a statement that Burkina Faso stands united against corruption, foreign interference, and any attempt to destabilize our beloved country. The successful sting operation has bolstered the morale of both the military and the general population. It showed that even in a country facing immense challenges, some will not be swayed by the promise of wealth. It's a testament to the strength of character of the people of Burkina Faso, a nation that refuses to be divided, no matter the odds. What comes next? Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos. But the story doesn't end here. While the immediate threat was neutralized, questions remain. Who else was involved? Was this an isolated incident or part of a larger plot to destabilize not just Burkina Faso, but the entire West African region? As the dust settled on the dramatic sting operation, the true depth of the conspiracy began to emerge. Burkina Faso's security forces had successfully thwarted a plot that could have destabilized the entire country. But now came the difficult task of unraveling the tangled web of foreign interests and shadowy backers who had orchestrated this plan. From the very beginning, the suspects' actions raised red flags among the nation's top intelligence officials. A man walking into the capital city with a suitcase full of 5 billion CFA francs was not operating alone. The sheer audacity of the plan suggested that he was just the frontman, a pawn in a much larger game being played by forces with far deeper pockets and more ambitious agendas. To find who it was, we need to ask, who stands to gain? Burkina Faso, a country rich in natural resources such as gold, manganese, and phosphates, has long been a target for foreign powers seeking to control its wealth. The nation's strategic position in West Africa, coupled with its recent economic growth and relative political stability, has made it a prime target for those who wish to exploit its resources and influence its policies. According to intelligence reports, the suspect had connections to foreign operatives based in neighboring countries. These operatives were reportedly working on behalf of powerful entities with interests in controlling the region's resources. This was not just about bribing soldiers to cause chaos. It was part of a grander strategy to undermine Burkina Faso's sovereignty. Here's where things get even more complex. Investigators discovered that the plot was designed not only to weaken Burkina Faso's government, but also to create a ripple effect across the region. By destabilizing Burkina Faso, these foreign powers hope to gain leverage over other West African nations, using the chaos to their advantage. It's a classic case of divide and conquer, a strategy that has been used by powerful nations throughout history to maintain control over resource-rich regions. Digging deeper into the investigation, Burkina Faso's intelligence agencies uncovered links between the suspect and a network of mercenaries operating in the Sahel region. These mercenaries, funded by wealthy foreign benefactors, have been involved in various covert operations aimed at toppling governments and sowing instability in West Africa. But why target Burkina Faso specifically? The answer lies in the country's recent efforts to assert its independence from foreign influence. Over the past few years, Burkina Faso has taken significant steps to reclaim control over its natural resources, renegotiating contracts with foreign companies and prioritizing national interests over foreign profits.
So guys, once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you've watched the video up to the end. And before we even dive in, remember, if you're watching my videos for the first time, kindly like, subscribe, comment and share on my videos. So guys, in this video, I hope you've listened and watched carefully to what has been said. Now, we all know that our African leaders, they tend to become the puppets to these Western people, to these Western leaders. Now, in this case, you've seen that there is this white person who decided to now convince the Burkina Faso soldiers to sell out their leaders, their president, who is Ibrahim Traore. They offered them a lot of money, but what this person had missed out is that the president of Burkina Faso and his soldiers, they are loyal to the country. Those soldiers were veterans. They are just not any ordinary soldiers, but veterans. They cannot sell out their leaders. They cannot sell out their country just for money. They were offered mouth-watering amount to sell out Ibrahim Traore, but look what they did. They played along just to capture these corrupt and crude West leaders. Now, we've heard of Dr. Arikana. I made a video of her recently whereby she was condemning these African leaders who have become puppets to these Western leaders. They get to receive a few dollars and sell out their very own people. They receive money and in return they sell out their country, the citizens of this country. We must congratulate Dr. Africana for that. She gave out a very bold speech on what these African leaders are doing. They are giving more privileges to the white people. The Western people come with the intention of investing in our country, but in real sense, they are not actually after investment. They are actually after taking over our countries, and we must say no to that. But sadly, the leaders we have, the people we have put into power, they are the ones selling us out. These Western people, they have seen that Ibrahim Traore and his soldiers were not impenetrable, so that's why they chose to use these bribe. They were bribing the soldiers so that they can sell out, they can betray, and there's nothing bad as being betrayed by the person you have put close to you. Betrayal is really something that can ruin a country easily. And what we learn from the soldiers of Ibrahim Traore, look at the loyalty that these soldiers are having. If they were other people, let's just talk about, for instance, my country. We have a lot of crude leaders, crude politicians who only care about their pockets, who only care about their position in power, their position in the government. And with this mouth-watering offer, they wouldn't think twice, but rather sell out everything. They would sell out the country. Not a lie, but that's just the reality. But congratulations to the soldiers of Ibrahim Traore for what they have done. They have shown their brave side, their courageous side, and most of all, their loyalty to the government and to their country. If only most of these African leaders would follow the lead of Ibrahim Traore, if mostly they would do that, our countries would not be suffering from all these things we have. We've seen cases whereby Donald Trump is planning on deporting a lot of immigrants, and to be precise, black immigrants, back to their country. Now, you tell me, this is what they are planning on doing, and you accept a bribe to sell out your own country to these Western people in your own country. Tell me if that makes sense to you. Our leaders have become cowards, totally cowards. But how I'd wish they would follow the rule started by Ibrahim Traore. Look what he's doing. He has set Burkina Faso free from a lot of things, and they are continuing to grow. Let's give Burkina Faso a few years and you'll see where they will be. Burkina Faso will be more developed than it is right now, and that's what a country needs. So guys, engage me in the comment section. I'm your host Larry. Remember, if you're watching my videos for the first time, kindly like, subscribe, comment and share to my videos. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back to view my videos. And to my new subscribers, my new viewers, I want you to feel much welcomed, and you are much welcomed to become part of Larry Kakira's Uncovers family. So guys, and until we meet again, peace out.